And we are live. Now, do not be alarmed, everyone. I know that it is very dark. I know it's very scary. Please let me know if you cannot hear me. Can you guys hear me okay? I know it's dark. I know the screen's black, but trust me, I'm building to something. We doing good? What's up, Burger? Josiah, Rocco, Buck Brothers, welcome back. All right, wait. Is it even playing? Oops. Test. Are we good? We good? Okay, we're good. Yeah. All right. Now that we have that out of the way, I would like to welcome you all to a very special episode of the Lorenz Hour. All right. You guys ready for this? Here we go. The gang is all here for the big celebration event of Popeye being finished. Hold on a second, just so you can see my face. I have so many wires. Okay, wait, that's good. There we are. The gang's all here. Everyone pulling up. Awesome. What's up, guys? Phoenix. Everybody, we finally did it. We made it to the end of the Popeye project. Let me get some more light. Hold on a second. Now, as you can see, this is what remains of the Popeye project. These are the only survivors we have left. Hold on, I'm pulling up the animation right here. I want to get it on my screen so I can show you all. There's a small tweak that I have to make in Adobe Premiere, so please excuse that. Yo, Straw, what's good? Welcome back. Where does it go? Window capture. Okay, wait. I think QuickTime. There it is. There we go. Boom. Okay, wait. Okay, we can all see it there. Now I'm gonna give it just a little bit of time to get more people to show up. Give people a second to pull up and stuff. But yeah. So everybody, today we are gonna be going over the finally completed Popeye project, which was made just about entirely on stream. Yeah, everything at this table was made on stream. Everything except for the editing was done for the Popeye project on stream. It's been my first time doing all of this, and this is I wanted this to be like an event. I still don't know when I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. I don't really know what I'm going to do about that yet. I'll probably do an edited video where I show the final animation, the animatic that I created, probably break down the process. Let me just adjust this right here. That's better. Yeah. But yeah, no, a lot of you guys, I think everyone in here, you guys all pulled up throughout the process. Yes, indeed, the clay fruit of our labor. Looks like everything's running well. The second time using the stream interface, I was really hoping that the encoder would connect properly, and this time it appears to have worked. But yeah, no. So look at that. Oh man, it has been such a long haul. All right, to be quite frank with everyone, I'm kind of in the zone right now because this project is about complete, and I'm also getting ready to start a next project. That's something I kind of talked about in a video I made recently. Hold on a second. I'm just forgot to send this over to the Popeye Reanimated Discord. Just gonna send that really quick. All right. There we go. That should be good. Yeah, so like just about everything in this project is just about complete. All the production shots are done. All the footage is done. It's pretty much all edited. And I also sent in my credits to the host of the project, and I sent in a cool portrait that's gonna represent me. So everybody in the project for the credits, they're gonna have their own special portrait of them, of Popeye. This is going to be me, and in the previous stream, we photographed it. But yeah, no, how are you guys all doing? Feel free to talk in the chat. This is meant to be more chill. We are going to be doing like a viewing of the animation, and then we're going to get to cleaning up the desk after, because all of this stuff needs to be disassembled, as I do with every clay animation project. What's up, Bendy? Welcome back. Yeah, no, I'm just like, I'm so in the zone right now because finishing a project, but also like I know what I'm going to be working on next, which gets me even more excited to just kind of like close the book on this and then get to work on the next thing. And I am excited to talk more about what I'm going to be working on after this. But hey, you know, we got a few viewers in here right now, so I guess I'll begin the animation viewing. Oh wait, what's up, Straw? I've never heard of the Hylix games. I've not heard of those. I do wish that more clay animation was used for video games. When I was a kid, Kirby and the Rainbow Curse came out, which was like that was so cool to see a game done with clay animation. I think it came out I think it was 2016, I think it came out. I remember I really didn't enjoy it though. I got it for the Wii U when I was a little kid, but I really didn't like having to look at the TV down at the pad and draw on the pad, but like, you know, typical Wii U problems. I really cool art style, but I was disappointed that it wasn't actual clay, like photographed clay. I understand why they did it, but it was just like, you know, it's still. I would like to see someone represent real clay in a video game. Hylix games. I'm gonna look that up. A 3D print custom bot vehicles. I would. Oh man, doing a transformer animation. I'm trying to think what I would do. Cause like I find that a lot of my animations, like they have this like handmade clay painted look. I don't know if I've ever done something like super mechanical. This is gonna sound funny, but I guess like a mechanical thing that I do is animating Legos. Legos are a very mechanical, rigid toy when you think about it. Oh wait, Straw. I'm looking at Hylix right now. Oh, it has a pretty unique art style. Someone talked about platypus, which is another clay animation game. I'll have to take a look at this. I did hear that a stop motion themed game was coming out. I think it might already be out now, but I don't remember. I I try and stay off the internet like as much as I can out because I'm already on the internet a lot for work, and usually whenever I do hear some news, it's because someone else told me word of mouth. That's really cool, Straw. So, you guys are all probably familiar with Earthbound. So, Earthbound was 2D, but the catalog or the manual, the game manual, which you can actually find, Nintendo uploaded the whole thing as a PDF. They had clay sculptures of all the individual characters in the games, and I just I love that so much. I loved it. But I did wish that they just photographed those clay sculptures and just put them in the game. It would have given some, variety to Earthbound's art style. Maybe it would have clashed. Anyway, I love the clay characters. So much so that I sculpted several characters from the Earthbound art style, the manual, and I actually sold a few pieces. Of course, I've shown you guys the Gygus and Porky Minch casts, but I also did some handmade pieces that I sold. I'll have to look into that a bit more. But no, that's really cool. Okay, so let's let's just take a look at this animation because we're already almost 15 minutes in. I'm just gonna play it on the small screen. I let me know if it's too small for you guys. Let's see how this audio is working. Oh, the audio is transmitting too. Great. Audio should be okay. All right. Awesome. Great. So let's do a little watch and then go through this just scene by scene, just a full breakdown. Yeah, sorry that there's a little glitch there. Yeah, I don't I I don't know why Adobe Premiere does this. Sometimes you'll do an export and something that you did not see in the editing room editing panel just comes out like this afterwards. So I have to tweak that. But yeah, guys, like this is it. This was made like entirely on stream aside from the editing. Maybe someday I'll do like edit streams, but like I don't know. Editing I tend to get really fixated because like, you're combing through it frame by frame. I'll do it with headphones on so I can make sure that the audio mix is good. I'm not an audio guy by any means, but like, I'm able to, I guess, understand what is good audio and what isn't. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think? This is Straw. Did I freak you out? No, like, I love. I talked about this one time. Look at me. I look like I'm drowning in clay characters. I can bring my desk down, I think. Wait, hold on a second. Okay, wait. All right, there we go. So I talked about this in the past. It's like, oh, now my head's cut off. Whee! We're going up. So I've talked about this in the past. It's like people associate like clay animation with like, oh, cute, uh, cuddly, oh, Wallace and Gromit, oh, Chicken Run, Gumby, somehow. All of the clay animation stuff is just like the really popular prevalent clay animation stuff. It's just it's it's all very cutesy, I find. But like I want to show that like no, like you can do something very nightmarish and scary using clay animation. No, the pipe I didn't add at the last minute. It was just like it was it was meant to be composited in on a blue screen. So like kind of yeah, it just kind of appears at the top. But you can see that when I filmed the background, I took my little ultraviolet flashlight and just kind of wait, can I go frame by frame? Yes, I can. So you can see that there's some purple. See that on the wall behind? And it kind of stops. Those sparkle effects, I think I made those for Brick Bob Films Hocus Pocus, but I was able to reuse it. But yeah, no, it's like this whole animation was done in layers. So you had Popeye, which was his own layer. You had the background, which was photographed on its own. You had the uh, faucet. Yeah, it's a faucet, which was photographed on its own. And I just kind of layered it all together. Same thing with the boat. Every single shot is like all done in layers because I wasn't trying to create like a big, large, elaborate set for this. Like when I made when I made the Clay Fighter Sculptors Cut musical, I knew that I wanted to do that on a set, like a real practical set. Also couple in with the fact that back then I didn't I wasn't super proficient with keying in Adobe Premiere. Like Adobe Premiere was like a new thing for me at the time. That was 2 years ago at this point, just a bit more than 2 years ago, and it feels so much longer. The amount of growth that's happened in the past couple years is crazy. Yeah, it can help with light management, but because you're shooting everything on a different layer, you just need to make sure you know what the lighting needs to look like because you can't light things completely differently like I know that so for this shot for instance with Popeye on the boat, this was just done on a blue screen, but because I took this image first and then made the backdrop in Procreate, Procreate Dreams because there's animation, I knew that I needed to make the colors consistent with the lighting that I took. What was captured on screen. Oh, this shot of the boat is so beautiful. There's like here's the thing, like there's little things in this animation that like still need to be tweaked, but this is pretty much the idea. Like this is pretty much what the final product like looks like. I'm gonna play it again. Ink Spot, check it out. we have a little glitch at the end. I'll take care of that. But yeah, this is what we got. This is it, baby. Yeah, I I would like to try and do a project, like edit a project within Adobe After Effects. In like from other stop motion animators, I've heard that Adobe After Effects is like a really good program. I would like to see how it compares to Adobe Premiere, but this was all edited in Adobe Premiere. Yeah, baby. No, I just like I can't believe that it's finally done. You get so invested in a project for so long and you spend so many hours working on it and it's just like seeing it come together. It's just like yeah. Oh yeah, and this shot with the birds flying away. I love how that came out. Yeah, Buck Brothers, I went with Canon Indie. Like I I wanted there to be some like beautiful music in the background to just kind of clash with the horror that's going on because like the ship is sinking, everybody's freaking out, and I wanted I wanted that like that Titanic like oh you have the musicians like trying to they're playing the music which they're doing to calm down the passengers, but it also just creates so much dramatic effect. I also just like I like having music in my films. I'm not like I mean, I've studied music. I studied music for years, but I never had that obsession with music that one would need to like really become like a musician. Like it's so funny. So like in my closet, I have a clarinet. I can pick up that clarinet and I could play any note on it that you want. But I think that to be a true clarinetist, you have to play the clarinet so much that your fingers just know where to go. It's in your muscle memory. But I don't have that kind of obsession with music. I do for this animation stuff, but not for something like music. But no, like I would like to incorporate more and more music into uh, my work, especially going into original work. Thank you, Straw. Can I play it now? You guys are funny. Look, maybe if we hit a couple if we get a few member signups in this stream, maybe I'll play it. But I don't think I'm gonna pull it out now. Can I play my clarinet? Yeah, I picked it up and started playing it last year because I was making Brick Bob films and I needed the clarinet for some episodes. Straw, thank you so much. Yeah, the oh okay, we have more musicians in the chat. But yeah, no, so Straw, that was a deliberate choice that I made and you're that's I'm so glad that you noticed that. But yeah, it's like you'll notice that in the opening here, sorry, I know this bar is like super ugly, but I'm just gonna put it in the corner there. But yeah, I deliberately turned down the saturation for the colors in the opening shot and the closing shot because I wanted the color to signal that shift that we're entering this psychedelic nightmare territory. So like in this shot right here, yeah, it's like you have some color here and you have the black just creeping in the background and couple in with the fact that you have uh, the contrast like really starting to set in. There's a little bit of weirdness on the edges I have to take care of in Adobe Premiere, but like, it's just, but yeah, you have this transition into the really vibrant colors. Like that's why I'm this is what I'm trying to get at. It's like I want people, like so many people like associate color with like more cartoony, friendly type of animation media, but I want to like I want to use color to create this nightmarish psychedelic feel in my media. So like in Brick Bob Films, you have lots of colorful, cartoony animation and stuff, but I also use like the lighting and the really deep colors, the really harsh lighting, to create that like scary stuff. You don't see me go like uh, very black and white, grayish, desaturated, Tim Burton-y stuff. Not my animation. I love color, It's like I think also for something like for stop motion animation, like if you look up stop motion animated films, a lot of it is like, desaturated, very Tim Burton-esque, gritty, dark, lonely, ominous. But I want to I just like having color and I like what you can communicate with color. It's like I want to highlight the fear and intensity using things like color. Oh gosh, this the shot of the boat. I love how this looks. Are we like moving? Okay, my going frame by frame is not working all of a sudden. Awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna. Okay, now we're good. We're fixed. Isn't this shot beautiful? It's gorgeous. It adds a little bit of context. I could have gotten away without making this, but I'm glad that I made it. And we still have the boat right here. Yeah, it's like you know, that's just the thing, straw. So, you know, I'm trying to change that. Yeah, particularly like in this, I originally had a vision for this project where it was like where so like the scene that I had for Popeye. Actually, you know what? This might be a good time. Let me show you guys the scene that I was given. I'm gonna show you this. How do I make this go away? Hold on a second. I have to pull up the other one. Popeye project. Where are you? There you are. There we go. Okay. It's this one. Oh yeah, that's it. Great. Okay, so here was the scene that I was given. Have a have a gander.
The roof is leaking out.
7 seconds. It's just, you know. Yeah, so I knew that for my scene, I wanted to really like kind of I wanted to go into like a flashback kind of thing because I wanted to get us out of the confines of like just Popeye standing in this room. If I did keep him in the room the entire animation, I probably would have made a practical set for him to stand in front of for filming or to inhabit. But I originally thought of a piece where it was like Popeye, he would have a flashback to being locked in like a dungeon or an oubliette, like a brig, and the ship is sinking and it's filling with water, and he's trapped and he's gonna drown. I wanted to really I I wanted to really highlight the fear of drowning, like that really intense fear of drowning, and really just lean into that. But then I decided that I didn't want to deal with animating all of that water, which I did think would be a little cumbersome for what I wanted to do with this project. So I altered course a little bit. Actually, I think that I do have an animatic. I can show you guys. You forgot it was an animation for a collab. Yeah, I kind of did too. It's like it just takes on a life of its own after a while, you know? Yeah, so Straw, it's like what was unique about this project compared to other reanimated projects I've been in is that they allowed you to really just you could invent so much. You could take your scene and do whatever you wanted with it. You could add plot, you could add music, you could just do whatever you wanted with it with a few rules, of course. But they encouraged really leaning into whatever however you wanted to push the scene as long as it was horror themed. And I just knew, I was like, the more I dreamed, the more advanced I got, because that's just kind of how I am, you know. Because there were some people that really really were going above and beyond with their scenes, and I looked at that and I was just like, gotta gotta do something to compare, gotta do something that holds up. I don't want to just do a little. No, I want to make this a big bang. I want to make something that's going to get the people talking, something that's really uncomfortable. So as you can see in the animation view right now, wait, you guys can't see my like those red bars, can you? Those are very ugly looking. Oh, no, we're good. Okay, great. So, yeah, so this is oh, so wait. Okay, here we go. So this is the scene that I originally envisioned. Now, this I did. I think I was assigned my scene in like July or August, and I think I jotted this up in October. But let's take a look. There's no audio, by the way. So it starts the same. Starts the same. The zoom. Yeah, so then we had the pipe break. Water's filling up. I'll shut up for a second. Yeah, and there you go. Yeah, uh like as you can see, even though it's different, you can see a lot of those a lot of the early influences in this project did carry over into the final scene. It wasn't like I changed like a ton. Like the setup and closure of the scene is still the same. You know, standing in the room, the splash, the flashback. How long is this? Okay, this is 41 seconds. Probably would have been around there. The final scene that I made was a minute. Yeah, the bird flying away, that was there. Him, you know, dramatic zoom, coming back to the end of the flashback. Yeah, one of the reasons that I did not ultimately do this version of the scene was because it suggested that Popeye, I'm trying to think of how to word this on the internet, that he is that he unalives, let's just say. We are on YouTube. He unalives at the end. Maybe he had a Deus Ex Machina come and save him at the last second, but I wanted I wanted something that was more dramatic, something that was a little a little bit more believable. So I kept him on the boat, but instead of having him be like on the brink of, you know, drowning, I had him more like be a captain. Like this is his ship, this is his crew. They're fighting in a war and everything's going wrong. I'm going to show with you the animatic that I created when I got back from the south this early April. Because yeah, I before I went to Animation Y'all in Tennessee, I think this is it. Oh yeah. Before I went to Animation Y'all in Tennessee, I was working on Lolo the Lucky Clown for this Leica application. He self-destructs. To me, that suggests like an explosion, I feel like. But ultimately, the same result. But yeah, so when I got back and I was like, all right, it's time to work on the project, I came at it with a different approach. Oh, we have the copyrighted music. I'm gonna mute that. Oh, but I think I do have the audio though. More or less the final audio. Yeah, Straw, exactly. Like he is a sailor man, right?
Guess the roof is leaking out.
Yeah, so it's like I wanted, yeah, pretty much like he has PTSD. No, so that's the thing. So I knew that going in this direction for the scene, I knew that this was really, really dark, very, very another Canon and D fan. It's a good song, really good piece. But yeah, so I knew that this version would have like a lot of really, really, really dark themes. But that was the point. I'm taking a 7-second scene and stretching it into however long. If I'm going to, if I only have a minute to tell a story, I want to make that minute as dramatic and impactful as possible. I want to make people uncomfortable. Like I want I want to push it. So like I think I talked about this when I was animating the scene. I was doing it on stream. But like early, not early, it was like late last year I rewatched like Attack on Titan, and there's like this scene in season 1 where like all the people are like, they're about to do their first battle against a bunch of Titans uh who are like invading the city, and like there's a group of like cadets or something like that. They're in a building, the Titans are outside, and like they're all like getting ready to fight, and one of the girls who's like holding a sword, she like looks at her commander, she's like, okay, so what are we gonna do? And he just takes this black object and puts it in his mouth and unalives himself, and it's terrifying. But that was the inspiration for this scene with Bluto here, because one of the rules for this project was you needed to feature Bluto or Brutus being not alive somewhere. You had to tuck him in somewhere where he would be unalive. I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is one of his first mates, one of his, I don't know, captains or something, one of his crew. But I do. Why are these jumps so huge? What the heck? I don't know why it's like that. But yeah, it's like. Oh, I see. It's very weird. It's jumping a second. But yeah, so it was like I knew that this would be like a touchy scene, so like I did reach out to the guy running the project and was like, hey, is it okay if I can show this? If it's too much, I can figure out something else. But he was like, no, I love the scene. I love what you're doing. Go for it. So I'm really glad I was able to commit to it and see it through. And yeah. So, the same, like, a lot of the same, like, general ideas made it into the final project, but it was changed quite a bit from the first vision. Yeah, Juggle, this is a collab project. This is meant for a bigger collab. Yeah, it's just like the thing is I don't even need to make these animatics. I don't have to make them, but ever since getting like going into animation like professionally, like just for my own sake of trying to grow and get out of my comfort zone, learn new skills, I want to practice taking my ideas and jotting them down before I start animating and making sets. I want to be able to communicate my ideas to other people before I start working or before assigning them work. I can say from my experience, the best clients that I've ever had all provided me with animatics before I even touched the work. Just get it down on paper. I don't care how ugly it is. I cannot draw for shit. And that's just how it is. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay that I'm not like a 2D artist, just as long as I can get my idea down on just into some tangible media. So, Juggle, right now you're watching a premiere. This stream right here is like premiering the whole animation. So, like, all of you guys watching this right now, you're the first people to like see the animation complete. I'm gonna bring it back up on screen. So don't go anywhere. You are on ground zero. I don't know if you were here before. Oh, absolutely. And especially for something like for stop motion animation where stop motion is very I'm trying to think preparation heavy. Because once you shoot, you're done. Like, you're not going to reshoot stuff, not unless you absolutely need to. But nah, it's like you want to have a roadmap beforehand. You want to know what you're going to be putting all those resources to. But yeah, just seeing the way it all came together. And I haven't even talked about the 2D backdrops. I haven't even talked about that yet. Get to that right now. So like so here's the thing. So it's like I'm not I'm not a 2D. I don't consider myself to be a 2D artist, but because this is something I'm always stressing to my students, to my viewers, to my collaborators, the means to create art are so accessible now because of digital media. The backgrounds I made right here on this what 13-inch iPad Air in a $5 piece of software. Not even five, I don't think. Maybe it was Procreate Dreams. But yeah, like this shot right here, I originally did the backdrop in. I drew it, but I thought it was clashing too much. I didn't really like it. It didn't look bad. It wasn't. It was just standing out a little bit too much. That was more of a me thing, though. It got the job done, but it just wasn't. It wasn't really doing it for me. What the heck? Sorry, I opened one of my programs by accident. Okay, there we go. But yeah, juggle. So it's like it. At some point, I am going to like publish this onto my channel, like absolutely. But this is like a first time viewing here. There's still a couple tweaks I have to make to the footage, but this is pretty much like it's pretty much like 97% done. Yeah, one of the things about doing uh, one of the things about doing all of this animation in layers, as I keep calling it, is it's definitely a bit more editing heavy, which I'm not really a fan of. I like to do I like to do as much on possible, like as much on camera as possible, but sometimes if you don't want to be making like really big sets and stuff like that, the editing can help. But there's more cleanup because when you're shooting physical objects, there's, lighting, all that stuff. You just have to, there's usually more cleanup. I mean, yeah, straw, that's just it, isn't it? It's like there's all of my heroes when they were starting out, they were using physical media. If we were still using physical media, I don't know if I would have gotten into animation. I really don't. Or at least I wouldn't have gotten in as early as I did. But because digital media exists, I was able to get a start really, really early, not just in creating projects, but distributing them through YouTube. It was how I got my start. Yeah, I just like this is why I say like if you want to do art like and get proficient at it, there's no reason not to try. Like I do surprise myself sometimes with just like looking at the work that I am making right here on this, what, 30 30 by 36-inch desk. I don't entirely precisely remember what the dimensions are, but like just just seeing what I'm making here at this desk and how it compares to the stuff that my heroes in stop motion were making back then and what it took for them to make that stuff. Like I feel so grateful. Digimon reference. Yeah, I wanted this shot to be very chaotic, and I imbued that into the animation in the background. Yeah, so this shot right here. Okay, so I regrettably this is the only shot that I did not make on stream. So I'm trying to think of how to say this. So I made this shot right here Sunday night, like at like 11 p.m. Like I was just about to go to bed, and I was just thinking, I was like, I don't, I don't want to go into Monday thinking, oh, I still have to make shots for Popeye. No, I did not want to start my week off like that. I am doing other things right now. Have to keep on moving forward. So I just made this shot here in like an hour, bit more than an hour. 4 or 5 second shot. But I was surprised. It turned out really, really good. I was really happy with how this shot turned out. Completely 2D animation. Yeah, I was concerned about doing this in 2D animation because I was worried that it would clash with the rest of the project. But you know something? I think because there's already these 2D animation sky backdrops, it flows. It makes this shot more believable. It makes sense within the reality of everything else that we've seen so far. These birds right here, like they might as well look like a mustache. They don't even look like birds. Like it's here's the thing, like, I never studied 2D animation. I am not a 2D animation guy at all. But like the tools are so usable and so user friendly. The means to do it is so easy that even if you're someone like me who's not a 2D animator, you can do it. If I can make this, you can make something too. There's no excuse not to. Like if you want to try some 2D animation, Straw, thank you so much. Wait, let me pull it up for you so we can go over it together. Yeah, if anybody has shots that you want me to go over in depth, like let me know. I'm your input is like this that's the whole point of the stream. Like I want us to talk about it. Maybe I'll move this out of the way. Oh, and by the way, this Popeye piece is for sale on my website. He's a bit expensive though, I'm not gonna lie. He is a handmade piece. He's a one of a kind, but if any of you guys want to own this, this right here, you can own it. But once he's gone, he's gone. So yeah, I'm not gonna be making casts of him. Yeah, I really love how this shot came out. It's so cinematic. Yeah, ocean looks good. Boat looks good. Did we have the tilt being done on camera? So I attached. Actually, I think I still have it. Wait, can you guys see it? Oh yeah, my camera attached to my 410 geared Junior Manfrotto head. Yeah, so that was all done on camera. I just took this head and cranked. There's a little knob on the back. You can crank it and it tilts. Really good head if you're a, like, you know, independent stop motion filmmaker. Highly recommend it. I'm trying to remember how much it was. A few $100s, I think. It's Manfrotto. But yeah, I love how the shot came out. Sky looked beautiful. Yeah, you make you don't consider yourself to be a 2D artist, yet you make something that really works. Like when you see it all come together, it's like, whoa. That's why I say it's like, even though I'm not into editing, it is different editing together the animation, because now you're seeing the reality that you've been building up to. You're seeing it all come together. Oh, Straw, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, like what my mentality when making this shot was, it was like, look, Lorenzo, you can make the shot, and if you don't like it, just do it in stop motion. It's just that simple. That was precisely what I did earlier when I made a 2D backdrop for this scene. But yeah, so I just all I did for this shot, like I made this in like what, an hour? What I did was I made the sky backdrop, made one bird, animated it at 15 frames per second, and once I had the bird, I just duplicated the bird. The birds, they're just a loop. It's just flapping on a loop, and in in Procreate Dreams, you have this really cool feature where you can tap on an animation you made and you can move it by hand, and the software will record keyframes for it. So these birds, I copied. I had two birds. These are both the exact same animation. I just moved one of them back a little bit so they weren't flapping in sync, because that would have looked weird. That would have looked synthetic. But yeah, it was like I just happy little accidents. Yeah, I just dragged them by hand, and you got this natural movement. They're not moving straight. They're not, they're not moving at a perfect arc. There's just there's just this natural movement to the birds, and they look great. As for the backdrop, oops, oh, I accidentally moved my window to my monitor. Where'd you go? Oh gosh, hold on a second. Freaking annoying. All right, we're back. Yeah, so as for these clouds, these are all the same cloud. I made one cloud animation, and I copied and pasted it 3 times. These two clouds in the back, I just adjusted the colors, I adjusted the opacity, I warped the clouds to give them different shapes. And they all look good. Nice and natural. And another thing that I like to do when interweaving my 2D animation with my stop motion is I want it to retain that handmade, hand done look. Of course, I'm not doing it on actual pieces of paper, but like you can see that there's texture from the material here. You can see the brush I use is probably like some kind of a charcoal. I don't want to make something that looks too clean. In the birds, animating the birds is really fun. So you just have a line. Like, you just have a line, make the wings go up and down. But remember, you don't just take lines and make them go up and down. That's gonna look robotic. So just a little crash course on animation. Remember, these birds right here, this guy right here, wish I could zoom in, but no, I can't. I can't do that. QuickTime Player won't let me, I don't think. So this bird, before his wings come down, so you'll see that they're kind of catching the wind right here, catching the air, the wind beneath the wings. So the wing begins to come down right here, but the end is still up. And then the end starts coming down. Now you can see that the end of the wing is kind of coming up a bit, but the trunk of the wing is going down. Then you get here, wings down, the tip is still moving up. Remember, in animation, something moves because there's another force pulling it. When I move my arm up, did you just see that? I didn't even do that on purpose. When I moved my arm up, my hand stopped last. It's because the force acting is the trunk of my arm, the shoulder, the bicep moving up, and the rest of my arm is following. So just remember, when something moves, it's because there's another force acting upon it. I don't know, I think that stuff is fun. That's the thing, it's like I didn't think I would have so much fun talking about the freaking birds of all things. Yeah, Inkspot, it's like when you're these all these little bits, all these little details come from the human psyche, the human hand. So we like watched some of my old Lego animations that I made like around the time or even before I started Brick Bob Films. Way back when I was like 11 or 10 years old. And I was surprised that when watching those animations, I could see little bits of personality peppered in through them. Like there are little reactions, little moments where I remembered. I was like, oh yeah, at that particular moment of the animation, he turned his head this way in a sassy way, or he adjusted his posture because he got frightened. Like there's those little bits of detail and personality that you forget, but those little decisions are being made. And especially in something like stop motion animation where you have an animatic, you're animating a character from point A to point B, you're animating an action, whatever. You're doing all of it frame by frame. So every frame is a decision. Like the point A to point B is the journey, but in the midst of all that, there will always be those little decisions being made that the audience, the audience can take it for granted, but when you're doing the work, you will understand I always say, like, it's the filmmaker's job to understand what makes a film good, and it's the audience's job to take it for granted. But there will be people out there that will look at it a bit more closely. I say that as we're zooming in on Popeye here. For those who are eager to learn and who want to look closely at it, the closer you look, the more things that you notice. Yeah, and then we have this little glitch by Adobe Premiere. Don't know why it does that. Just ignore it. This is so goofy looking. I love this blur, the blur in the shot. Very cinematic. The it was actually, I don't think I took this picture on stream. When you want to get a really cinematic shot, you can open the aperture a lot on your lens. I have a manual vintage Nikon zoom lens, fully manual, so I have full control over the aperture. You open it up all the way and you get this really shallow depth of field. It's very cinematic. I love the colors. Yeah, it's him right here. He's still here. Juggle for this project, I used a Canon Rebel T7. It's this camera right here. Oh, I have the dummy battery attached to it. Oh well. There's all these wires, so I don't want to drop anything. Ooh. Are we good? I have to wipe my lens. Anyway, see this camera right here? I am not kidding. This is like a less than $500 camera. Around that. I I used to film when I was a teenager. I started filming with a Rebel T5i. This is actually a grade lower than the T5i, but it's like it's not an expensive camera. For stop motion animation, you absolutely do not need to get like, you don't have to go out and get like this crazy camera. I am using a less than $500 camera with vintage lenses. For stop motion, shooting with vintage lenses is actually really good because it gives you more control over all the components of the lens. You can get some really good glass. Yeah, it's just, you absolutely do not need to go out and get some really expensive equipment. If you're looking to practice shooting with a camera for stop motion, like start small. Because remember, you will have your whole life to upgrade your equipment. Your whole life. But start with what you have. I didn't get this camera until after I had been filming for, oh my gosh, I probably filmed with my T5i for almost 10 years. It was, yeah, something like that. It was probably about 7 years. Awaycore, thank you. Welcome back. Good to have you here. Yeah, no, we're unveiling the new animation. We've been going through it, breaking it down. It's so sad that these are all gonna be disassembled. But that's just how it is. Yo, we got some viewers in here. Guys, thank you all so much for pulling up. This really does mean a lot to me. This is what? This is stream 15, 16. It's been a long time coming. But for everyone in here, please remember to drop a like and join the Patreon. You can join for free. You can become a free member in case YouTube ever decides to erase me from the platform for no other reason other than that they want to. Straw, thank you so much. Take it easy. But yeah, no, this has been great. Yeah. No, it is a shame that all of these guys need to be disassembled, but some lucky person out there will get this Popeye. The Popeye will remain. The Popeye portrait. Oh yeah, so that's the other thing. So I could show you guys the the portrait photo that I sent in for the project. Actually, I took these on stream. Yeah. I was beside myself. I was so excited. I was just like, Oh, these are masks. I'm in the wrong folder. What? Where? Oh, there's the portrait. There it is. Wait, can I? How do I get this up? It's gonna be, yeah, this is it. Yeah, check it out. So, at the end of the project, everyone's gonna have their own. Everybody's gonna have their own portrait, their name underneath, their socials, whatever. And this is the portrait that I submitted for representing our thing here. This was, I like this one. The green, it's very sickly, disgusting, nightmarish, and it really contrasts with the fleshy color. You have some blue, kind of like, ocean themed, aquatic, cold. I like how the background looks. Oh! Love this. I have to stand up. Give me a sec. Oh my god. As you can see, we have my new officially licensed hash slinging slasher hoodie. Check that out. We have to represent. Guys, Phoenix, stick around because we are going to talk about Brick Bob Films. I have a lot of announcements on that. I'm just looking at the TV. Oh, so I love this. It is heartbreaking to have to disassemble these. But the clay does go to future projects. You know what I mean? Oh boy. Funny thing with Bluto here is if I turn him around, look at that. He's nothing but a lie. Look at that. He's just a lie. It's just filler clay. Yeah, over the years, you pick up all these little tricks to prolong the clay's lifespan. You know what I mean? Hold on a second. Oh boy. Yeah. No. So I have to do some cleaning up of the set tonight because we have got to get started on the next project, which I'm very excited for. Oh man. All right. But yeah. No. So, I mean like yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's just like it's been such a long haul. But I'm going to make these final little alterations. It's been fun, but now I think we have to just kind of start cleaning up over here. I'm gonna get to work on my desk in just a second. But oh man, Popeye, I will always. This will be remembered as the project where this is the first time I streamed it. You know, normally when I finish a project, I just think about all those hours spent alone, but no, it's like now this kind of opened up a whole bunch of new possibilities. I'm gonna close Discord. Oh boy. I think I'm gonna have to reposition the camera though, because I don't think I can't do very much here. Alright. Oh boy. But yeah, just oh wait. Okay. So before I take apart these puppets, there is something that I have to do. Something very, very important. I did this after I animated uh, Fry Cook Games, the clay animation. I I like posed with all the characters I made. SpongeBob and Patrick. I think I have to do that here. So I gonna have to reposition my camera. All right, let's do it. All right, we're gonna. It's gonna be a little bit of a process. Wait, what frame do I want to land on? I guess that's pretty good. That's a good frame. All right, here we go. Camera, camera's gotta move. Okay, I have to move my camera up to my tripod. So if it disconnects, if anything horrible goes wrong, I think we should be okay because we're connected to the encoder, so that'll keep us grounded. But here we go. So I'm just gonna put the lens on really quick. Move us on up. And fasten this on. All right, boom. I think we're good. All right. Sweet. Okay. Today is graduation day. It is picture day. I'm gonna take these with my phone. I don't feel like finicking around with the camera for a while. Oh boy. my color lights too. Let's have a look. I'm just gonna turn it on the phone for a second so I can see what we're looking like. But yeah. Maybe I'll hold him. Let's have a look here. Gonna have to get the colored lights moved around. The cord on this is kind of short. I didn't realize that. Oh. Ugh, so many wires. Hopefully I don't throw my camera down. Be really careful. Yeah, so earlier in the chat, Geist Phoenix, he asked about a BrickBot Film episode. So actually, just recently I made a post on the BrickBot Films YouTube channel. So I'm actually looking for requests for what episode to do next, because it is looking like the next animated film project is going to be BrickBot Films. We're going to come back. We're going to do it on stream. It's going to try and make it a whole event. So if any of you guys have a request for an episode of BrickBot Films, go over to BrickBot Films and put in a request on that post. I am going to make a, like, I'm gonna keep awareness around it, like keep mentioning to people that like I'm looking for episode ideas. What do you guys want to see? But yeah, no, cast your vote, because I am eventually, kind of what the plan right now is going to be is I'm gonna see what episodes people want, and then I'm gonna narrow it down to 3 possible episodes. And I'm going to have people do a vote on my Patreon. It's going to be a member-only vote, but don't worry. You should be able to, you can vote if you're a free member. I don't want people to have to pay to, like, vote. There's some light over here. This light is good, but the base is it's very flimsy. Pretty annoying. There we go. Let's see how we're looking. Trying to remember what I did last time. Because the photos I took for Brick Bob Films Fry Cook Games back in 2024, like those came out really good. But I don't remember what my setup was. Actually, let me take a look at my phone. I'm also gonna take off my hoodie for just a sec. Oh, because it is, you know, what time is it? For me, it's 7:30, which means it's becoming evening, and my body likes to get really hot in the evening. Sometimes to remind myself, like, if I had a setup that really worked for like shooting a scene, I will like go over to my camera roll and just see like sometimes I'll take pictures behind the scenes and I'm like, what did my setup even look like when I do this? July 2024. That's the other thing, is like the photos in your library are all dated, so I just kind of always have like a mental map of what of when every project took place. What freaking camera did I use? I had that there, I had that there. Yeah, I did have one of my cameras in the shot, which looked really cool. Yeah, and I was like slipped behind there. Yo, I was using my other desk at the time too. Hold on a second. Maybe I can. Where's my other camera? It's probably far in the back. Oh. Oh boy. Everything's falling. The phone might suffice. I've been saying for years, like, the one thing that I still have to work on, and I've got my workstations kind of figured out, but I still have to take care of the closet. And the closet is what you put off until last. Let's see if I can do it. These iPhone cameras are good. I think the diffuser's kind of throwing everything off. Yo. Warm light. room light. Should be good. I just love how the Brick Bob Films backdrop is just always there. Always watching. Nice. Yes. We're on our way. It's better. See the boat. We got the train. Thank you for joining us. This freaking camera. It's got no depth of field. Wait, can I adjust the aperture? Natural light, no. Exposure. 16 by 9. All right, that's looking good. Can I elevate the desk without something falling over? Let's see. Hello. Not quite sure where to put the camera just yet. Should be okay. Yeah, baby. You can see the stream in the background. Okay, now let's see if I can get on camera somehow. Wait, Buck Brothers, could you elaborate on that question? Problem with like, are you trying to say like a problem with like, did they have a problem with me doing animation? One second, let me. One second. I'm probably gonna have to move the diffuser. Really annoying. Not quite as bad as I thought. These are just bags. There. Ah, okay. Yeah, so, yeah, Buck Brothers, no, I didn't, if you're asking, like, if I faced, like, friction with family members over my doing animation, like, growing up, I, I, no, I never experienced that. And that's one of the ways I acknowledge that I'm, like, very privileged because I know people who do animation where they did experience that. Like they had, like they wanted to do something creative, but they had family, relatives that were not too keen on that. It's very sad, but it's a very common thing. I, it's I, I know what you mean. Like some people, they're like, oh well, we want you to do something serious, and animation's not serious. I know like there's a lot of really good animators out there that are immigrants and like their families had to work really hard to like for instance come to America, and it's like a lot of the parents are like, well, we didn't work really hard to come to America just so you could want to become an artist. It's like sometimes it's cultural, sometimes it's just ego, but it's like that's I was very fortunate in the sense that I didn't deal with that. I think also because like I come from a pretty, I guess you could say, creative family that they were always very supportive, and I've always been really thankful for that. Hold on a second. I just want to see how I can position myself. Yo. This is like a test. Yeah. It's... Oh, this actually looks pretty good. Doesn't look too bad. Trying to think how I could make the lighting a little bit more dramatic. Yeah, well, if you're talking about like doing animation but not doing all the things related to animation, so it's like when I was a kid, I just wanted to animate. I was not into editing. I wasn't interested in writing. I wasn't trying to create original worlds and characters and all that stuff. But I really wanted to animate, so I animated toys, I animated stuffed animals, I animated clay, and then eventually when I was about 9 years old or 8, I got all of the Lego SpongeBob sets, and then I just started animating those. And I really loved the SpongeBob show, so I just started animating episodes that I liked. That was kind of my way of getting that was my way of getting started, and it allowed me to animate without having to do all those peripheral aspects of animation, you know? I mean, look, take it from me, like I'm still learning this whole writing thing, writing for animation, making original characters. Most of the stuff I do is based on other properties, but I do want to change that. But if I am doing something that's Popeye or SpongeBob related, I can find ways to flex my creative muscles, you know? I'm gonna try a more serious photo. I have to lean in so much, which is just crazy. Oh, this is a pretty good photo. Yeah, sweet. It was pretty good. The the SpongeBob backdrop is a little goofy, but it's whatever. It's fine. I'm trying to see. I would like to get the camera in there somehow. Yeah, that's the thing. Like Buck Brothers, like everyone's like dealt such a different hand when it comes to like just trying to make a career in whatever. But I do believe it's like it's not really about what you were born with. It's what use you make of those resources, you know? So take me for example, like doing this stream right now, I've never take it from me, I've never worked at a studio. I haven't worked at Aardman, I haven't worked at Leica. I've gotten close a couple times, but you know, it's so competitive. It's really, really difficult. A lot of people are getting hired from a closed circle. It's just the way it is. So, you know, here I am on YouTube just trying to do my own thing. You know what I mean? This is an example of like me, for instance, trying to make the most of what I have. Like, I figure I do have an audience and I do have history on this platform. Now, And I do have the portfolio, so what is a way that I could grow it and expand upon it? The camera on the shot. Shoot. That that tripod is just a smidgen too tall. Oh, there goes the light. Freaking wires. Oh, wires. Maybe someday there will be an effective replacement for wires. But until then, we're going to continue to live in the Stone Age. Whoa. Okay, now that shadow is really pronounced. Okay, there we go. That's better. Adds a sense of scale to the image. Yo. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, I'm trying to think maybe I should throw on the hoodie. I'm trying to think what would pair well. Maybe black. Black is always, go-to for animation. Do I have like a black t-shirt? One second. Just do something like that. All right. It's pretty good. Boom. Just one for the album, you know what I mean? Oh, my face looks goofy. Hold on a second. Gotta work on that. That ain't right. That's pretty good. Oh, yeah. And soon we shall be working on Brickbob Films. One second. But yeah, like on its own, like this project, like it's a 1 minute animation. This wasn't really gonna get seen by a lot of people. At least I don't think it will. But just doing this on stream, it like the making of the film has become like a journey in of itself that I can share with all of you. All right, let's go. We're just gonna need to take a whole bunch. We'll take off the glasses. Oh, we're gonna be doing a lot of back and forth. That's a good one. I'm just gonna do a paparazzi. Not even gonna look. I didn't do this after Beavis and Butthead, so gotta make up for lost opportunities. wonder if I should do one of me holding the camera. I'll probably do that at one point. How are we looking? I look like I'm in pain in this photo. We are deleting that. Oh, that's a good one. Nah. It is lighting my face a lot, which is kind of freaking me out. I think this one's the culprit because it's kind of low. I wonder if I can't reposition it. I could put it up there, but it's just gonna fall over. Ugh. All right. We just have to keep pushing forward. Because this is it. This is the end point. This is the goodbye to Popeye. Okay, I think maybe if I push the chair a little close, this might help. Confounded. Confounded. Oh. Alright. Hopefully this doesn't fall and corrects the issue. The lighting better? Oh, that's a good one. I like this. My iPhone has like 3 lenses on the front. I don't know which one I'm supposed to look at. Just look in the middle of them. Oh, these are good. These are way better. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we've done it. Whew. I am getting hot, though. I'm getting very toasty. Give me a second. I have to enter tank top mode again. Ugh. Why do I always wear long pants? I don't like to wear shorts because of my long dancer's legs. It's just not, like, my legs are a statement, you know what I mean? They're not casual, they're very dramatic. It's a very, very serious condition. Oh, I forgot to do this. Making something magnificent. Boom. Sorry, I know you guys were all waiting for that. Yeah. freaking love this adjustable height desk. Love it. It's amazing. All right. Boom. Yeah, so the thing with doing this clay animation stuff is like whenever I'm done with a project, I dismantle everything so I can reuse the clay. And it's a process, but it's oh so worth it. Clay is like, to me, it's kind of like food. Like, I hate to throw it out, so I'm just like, all just goes back into the closet. Oh, I didn't do one of me holding the camera. Drat. I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna look at what could have been. And I'm gonna move on with my life. There, problem fixed. All right. Jeez, my phone is warm. I'm taking photos. Jeez Louise. Yeah. All of this has got to go away. Where are my tools? Yeah. So for preparing for Brick Bob Films, I'm gonna have to stick all of the Lego boards back on the desk and get rid of all this clay paraphernalia. But yeah, no, I'm really excited to try and do, like, make an episode of Brick Bob Films and promote it on Brick Bob Films and just start to like really combine everybody. Because I had a lot of fun making this project on stream, and you know, you guys all pulled up and represented. So I'm just like, we got to take this to the next level. Also, there's some good episodes of SpongeBob that I just haven't given my treatment yet. Where do I even begin? I'm also gonna take a last sip of water before I get clay all over my hands. I do think I'll run to the restroom just because this stuff is messy. I'm gonna need my trash can. Oh boy. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right. Here we go. We're gonna put the black clay. It's a disaster. This one tool that I really liked for cleaning the clay, and I have not seen it in a bit. Let's purchase buy it again. Oh, here it is. Sweet. Yeah, clay loves picking up anything and everything it can, and I'm a huge stickler about that. Maybe I'll save the black for last. There was a lot of black clay used in this production. Yeah, I keep my clay as clean as possible. I'm trying to think. I think I might just have to start taking off the black first. I like to go from like lightest to darkest, but I think I'm gonna have to bend the rules a little bit. It's my phone. You can tell I'm nervous because one second. You can tell I'm nervous procrastinating disassembling these. Awesome. Great. Yeah, no. Just you wait. I'm gonna bring clay back. I'm gonna take it to the next level. Oops. The surface gets the most dirty, but usually it's pretty clean underneath. Now this is black, which is the most forgiving when it comes to showing, muddiness, dirt, lint, debris, but still, like, we're shooting on digital media, 4K quality. I want this stuff to be as clean as can be. Wait, was this Dr. Kiln? I think this was Dr. Kiln. I originally made this armature right here. Sorry, the light. This armature was made from the ground up specifically for Dr. Kiln for the Clay Fighter project. And, now he lives on in this Popeye piece. It was either Dr. Kiln or Bonker. The most dubious color to save is white. Because, like I always say, like, I reuse clay, but the clay that I have to buy more of most frequently is white by a long shot. It gets so dirty so fast. It drives me crazy. Yeah, if it doesn't just peel off, that makes it all the more difficult to save the clay. Because, like, if it mixes, like, if it bonds together, it's like, forget about it. You can't separate it. So that's why I've kind of created this, like, system for, like, making clay puppets in such a way where you can, like, take them apart afterwards. I should rephrase that. I don't have a proper system. It's just more of, like, it's in the back of my mind while I'm doing it. All right, sweet. Now he's naked. This piece has some yellow on it, but if I mix it, I don't think it's gonna change. It's not gonna change the black that much because the black is just that potent. And when all of these colors mix, it just turns it turns black or gray anyway. And then just goes like that. I don't even remember what puppet this was. My neighbor's beast is making noise. Yeah, constructing these takes so long, and then it's just like, it's fascinating how easy they come apart. That's the thing about these clay puppets. It's like from the moment you start, from the moment they're done and you start animating them, they're like begging to come undone. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, so I think I talked about this in stream. Like, one uh, one thing that I was thinking about doing is like, there's going to be like this, what, 48-hour film festival thing coming up, and I was thinking of maybe doing it and like streaming it, doing an animated film. So like, I went to one of them a while ago, or I think it was, yeah, it was last year. Yeah, it was pretty cool, but I was curious, like, I was curious what it would be like making a stop motion animation, like what I could come up with and produce in 48 hours. Because I've done stuff pretty last minute on the fly, done so in the past. And there is like, although stop motion like takes a long time, like I consider myself to be a relatively quick animator, like, but using the clay animation, like, I don't know, feel like I could kind of make it work. I'm curious to see what I would make under such stress, you know? Not to say that I'm going to be like pulling my hair out. I probably would a bit though. But like, I've been in situations in the past where I had to make something really really quick, and I've surprised myself, I have to say. Yeah, Jones Mans. I would. I'm trying to think of how to say this. Like, I would do like requests to like react to things, but I meant so particularly like animated stuff that I've made, like maybe an old episode of Brick Bob Films or Clay Kremling. There'll be plenty of time to do that when I bring over some viewers from like Brick Bob Films over to these streams, but like, I want the main focus of these streams to be the creative production process, you know? Not Geist Phoenix. I don't know. I don't know that band. Shoot, I like how this Bluto looks. If I'm ever bored, like I can make like like a permanent sculpture of any of these guys on stream. Now, what's cool about this project is like the Popeye portrait that I'm selling. That's like, I think, I think that's my first like animated film prop that I'm gonna be selling. I think so because I've sold dozens of art pieces in my time, but never like a piece that was in an animated project. So you know what, like, for future animations, I think I'll find some way that I can integrate like hard handmade sculptures or something that I can then sell as props or something, just so everyone can get like a little piece of the film, should they desire. You guys see this? I'm like rolling, I'm like rolling the black clay off of him, and underneath it's all filler clay. Like even once the color's been completely washed out, it's still useful stuff. Oh, Bluto, I will miss you most of all. You were beautiful. Ugh, he looks so cursed without his beard. Look, now he's nervous. I should put a camera, like a camera light up. Alright. Popeye, you're up. Oh, actually, I'm gonna do the ship. Ship's really easy. Just, all you have to do is just a little bit of this. It's just brown underneath. Guy's Phoenix, yeah, I haven't heard of him. This is so quick. Alright. It's such a weird feeling taking these apart, like knowing like everything that went into making them. But they are immortalized on film. And that's what matters. Oh, also, yeah, Popeye's head was like, it's been ready to just come off. You see how easy that just came off? It was ready to come off, like, from the moment I put it on. Because this was all, that little nub right there, that's all it was sitting on. I'm not going to bother with these. These are done. The most fun part was ripping it off. Oh, there goes his hand. Yeah, I was not using, so like normally if I'm gonna do clay animation hands, I'll use Sugru, which is a moldable glue that works really well if you want to use like if you want to have some like stop motion hands without having to make silicone molds or like casting in silicone. Like if you don't want to do all that, Sugru is a great product, but Popeye didn't need to do anything with his hands. Like he didn't have to do this or anything. So I used actual clay, and it's like, once again, barely hanging on to anything. But yeah, since he didn't have to perform any manual tasks, I just use regular clay because Sugru is like, it's kind of pricey, and I wish that you could order more of it at a time. Like a little bit of Sugru is quite a chunk of cash. There's some brown clay on the bottom of his shoes from standing on the deck of the ship. Yeah, deception, Bendy. I mean, like I have a lot of ideas of all types of things that I can do with stop motion, and I'm not opposed to animating figurines. It's just like because I'm just like, I'm a one man production house. It's like once again, what I decide to do is usually just kind of like an in the moment kind of thing, wherever my uh, whatever is most needed. So like I finally had some time to work on this Popeye project. So I made it because I wasn't doing Brick Bob Films and I was finished animating Lolo the Lucky Clown. But yeah, no, like whatever pays the bills, whatever is exciting, like yeah, I'll animating. I did get a figurine, like a cool posable figurine of the Mask from the Mask comic book series, which I've never read. Oh, Decepticon. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, dyslexic. Uh, but yeah, the but yeah, like I ordered this cool figurine of the Mask from the comic book series. It has like all these like props it comes with. It's a really cool looking figurine, and I really wanted to do an animation of it. I just haven't had the time. Like all of these project ideas I have are like competing with each other, and ultimately like it comes down to like what needs to get done, what does the client need, what's going to go on YouTube. Yeah, I would like to animate that figurine of the Mask. It's a good figurine. I have him in the closet right there. He's still in the box. Kept it in pretty mint condition. It's really cool looking. Yes, sorry for butchering your name. There are people on TikTok that like do like really fun animations, like stop motion animations with like Marvel figurines, Dragon Ball figurines and stuff like that. Like that stuff is fun, but usually the type of figurine animation that I do most regularly is the Lego stuff. I almost like animated Barbie dolls, not actual Barbie dolls, but like another big brand. Because like a client reached out to me and wanted me to like animate dolls for them, but the I was out of their budget range. But still, it's like that's like an example of like, oh, I would have definitely animated figures then, you know? Yeah, hey, what's up? Don't think we've seen you in here before. Welcome. Yeah, I've actually we've discussed Clay Kremling a few times in stream before, but like yeah, I oh man, I haven't revisited the series in so long. I'm not planning on bringing back like the Clay Kremling show, but I wouldn't rule out like him making like a special appearance sometime in the future. Could not for the life of me say when, because like I haven't worked on a project where I was like, oh yeah, Clay Kremling would fit in here, but like he was such an odd little chapter in like my journey in this whole animation thing. But yeah, I I talked about this last time Clay Kremling came up. It's like if I were to bring back Clay Kremling, like if he were to make an appearance in some form or some project, I feel like I would want to redo his design because his design was purposely a little bit subdued because he had to, be animated for all this dialogue sequences, and he didn't have a mouth in his face because like it would have been too much to animate. So like I think it would be cool to see like what I could do. Like if I only had to animate Clay Kremling for like 5 seconds, what would I make him look like? You know? And think I don't think there's any. Oh, I still have what's his name? The yellow guy. Something the Jeep. I don't know what his name. I don't know. I don't remember what his name is. He's the little yellow guy that hangs around Popeye. He's still in the closet over there. I have to remove him and get the yellow clay back. But I think this is gonna about do it for the black clay. Look at that. Yeah, I need to get like containers, proper containers for the clay that I have. I just wrap it in like plastic wrap, just anything to keep like the dust away when it's in storage. Yeah, it's Eugene. Thank you, Buck Brothers. Yeah, and once I'm done working with black clay, I just like I always have to wash my hands. Yeah. I don't think. Oh, there's little pieces of black clay on the instruments. Just take those off really quick. Yeah, like, oh man, I there's so many like projects that I like that I've started in stuff like that. And like people reach out to me all the time, like, hey, could you do more of this? Could you do more of that? There's a lot because I've done like a wide variety of different animated films, and like there are projects that I like really did want to make that I just never got around to. No, you're good. Mr. Krabs is iconic. But yeah, so like let me give you guys a little example. So like whenever I'm working on a project, like people are always asking me like, "Hey, when are you going to work on something else?" So, for instance, when I was working on Clay Kremling, people would say, go work on Lego SpongeBob, BrickBob Films. I mean, pretty much no matter what I'm working on, people are always asking that. But like then when I was working on BrickBob Films, people would say, "Oh, when are you going to bring back Clay Kremling?" Vocal minority probably, but still, like people would be interested in enough to like comment. But yeah, so I made I made Jasper in a Jam, which was a remake of a George Pal cartoon in late 2017, and that project was so meaningful for me. It was like I'm trying to think of how to put it into words. It was a really special project to me. Jasper in a Jam, 2017, and after that, I was like, oh, I want to make another Jasper cartoon. And I was planning on making Jasper's Derby, a remake of Jasper's Derby. And my idea was like, I'm going to make it in 2018. And I actually, this is something that like never happens. I actually started filming a couple shots for Jasper's Derby. I filmed them in my room, in my old room. But like I was making puppets, I was doing all that. Like I was ready to go, and then I I think what happened was I was like, shoot, I haven't made a Clay Kremling episode in a while. I think I'm gonna make those. I don't remember exactly what was going through my head at the time, but ultimately what happened was I postponed Jasper's Derby to make the Clay Kremling episodes from 2018. It started with the Morhun Total, I think it was. The big Morhun review. Morhun, or whatever. But yeah, all those episodes I made in 2018, I made those instead of Jasper's Derby, and I was like, oh well, I'll make Jasper's Derby in 2019. Originally, my plan was to make Jasper's Derby in 2018, and then I would make Jasper and the Beanstalk in 2019. But yeah, then when I went to do Clay Kremling instead, I was like, oh, I'll do Jasper's Derby in 2019. And then it just, what happened was I got inspired to do BrickBob Films, to bring back the show. So I ended up doing that, and just it was just one thing after the other after that point that I never ended up making more Jasper films or Jasper remakes. And it's a shame because like I was like that was the only time that I was like very prepared, like, oh yeah, I'm already filming making puppets for Jasper's Derby, and then I just never finished the project. That was like the only time I think I I did that, where I like abandoned a project before it ever really quite began. But the fact that I already had filmed a couple shots and abandoned the project, it's very unusual for me. I think it goes to show that that's how pumped I was to make more Jasper films. But it just didn't happen. And like I'm disappointed that I never made more Jasper films, but it's also all right because I did make other stuff that people enjoyed and found meaningful. That's the thing. It's like a lot of these projects, like they're all competing to get out of my head, and ultimately, like what it comes down to is you kind of have to go with your gut on it. It's like a combination of what you need to make right now and what needs to get made right now and what the audience wants right now. Obviously, I couldn't be making Clay Kremling and BrickBob Films and Jaspers all at the same time. But yeah, so that was just kind of the way things turned out. But I know that if I do make a project, like if I decide to begin a project, I'm doing it for a reason, you know? There is a greater sense of purpose that comes with me returning to a project or starting a new one. I need more cellophane. But yeah, anyway, we got the black off these puppets. This filler clay is going to come off really good. Anyway, we are approaching 3 hours, and you know, I think I'm going to call the stream here. It's been great having you guys, and I don't know what the plans are for the rest of the week. I'm currently in the process of, well, I have a client project to do right now, but I'm mentally, I'm like really preparing for BrickBob Films, like just clearing everything out, getting ready for Brickpop Films, doing that again, and that's going to be a big journey, and I think it will be really good for the streams. And so even if I don't stream again this week, kind of figuring it out, I'm going to be around. I'm working on stuff. Remember, join the Patreon. You can join for free. Consider becoming a member. Consider becoming a paid member on either Patreon or right here on YouTube. Gonna be doing more streams. There's a lot of stuff in the works, but remember, drop a like and just have an awesome time. It's been it's been a long journey, but I'm really excited to close the book on this project and start with some new stuff, and hopefully pop in sometime and just do casual sculpture conversation streams. Anyway, you guys have a good night. It was great having you all here. And yeah. Oh, yeah, Guys Phoenix, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm experimenting with it a bit, trying to sell and market those films better. But yeah. And anyway, yeah. PWR 205. I hope to see you again here soon, because I do want to like react to some Clay Kremling episodes live on stream sometime. That would be fun. All right.